2025 heavyweight open champion, the reigning, defending, never lost champion.
You were talking before the intro even stopped playing.
Oh, shit. All right. Well, they know what I was talking about.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and apologize because I'm in a hotel. I don't know how well this internet's going to hold up. So if I'm jumpy or staticky, just bear with me a little bit. So, yes, as Trey was saying, he is the two-time Open Limit Breaker champion as of this past Saturday. Congratulations, Trey.
Thank you very much.
You've got a shirt that says a shirt that says 23 champion. I'm going to have to get you another shirt now, I guess.
That's correct. Although next time I won't be in the competition aspect.
That's okay. If you come back, I'll get you a shirt because Todd, I gave Todd a shirt for winning in 23 when he came back to help this year.
Boy, I tell you what, if pneumonia didn't screw me out last year, I'd have had 3 in a row, which is what I'm shooting for the Forge. So we'll see how it goes.
I think after you come top 10 at the Arnold, we'll get back into it.
Oh, I don't know. It just depends.
Got some people here with us already. Dang, we're already up to 11. We got Keith in here with us. Austin,
Dr. Devlin himself.
Mr. Stan, party people. Yes, sir.
Miss Olivia. I was surprised she was still late. She wasn't going to make it earlier. And then Destiny's in.
Yeah.
We got Miss Alex, the true creator of everything.
She is. Miss Santana, Matt. Oh, we got a nice little group in here tonight. What's going on, everybody?
I'll take it.
They're all here to congratulate you, Trey. Well, it's not just Trey. We do have some other guests going to be joining us.
Well, yeah, one of them is going to be, I call him my little brother or the mini version of me. We both won 4 events, the first 4 events, and this matched up. And then I think he placed 3rd or 4th in the grip, and I placed 4th. So we almost had an identical run.
Yeah, y'all did.
So
Mr. Tyler Davis, he's the only other 2-time champion.
Redbeards stick together.
That's right. Mr. Manny joined us too.
Mr. Manny.
Now we'll have 3/4 of the first place finishers here tonight at some point. We're going to have Miss Portia joining us, Tyler, and I think Meg is going to be joining us too. So we'll have 4 podium finishers out of the 12 on tonight's channel or tonight's show. Well, what's your biggest takeaway from this weekend?
I had a blast. Obviously, before I got there, I was my normal self, nervous as hell. I knew what I was capable of, but at the same time, you know, me, I'm always nervous. I knew after I get the first event on the way, I'll be okay. Although the first event didn't go how I wanted it. Luckily, on my first attempt, I won the damn thing. But
man, I thought you were going to leave.
I learned something from Todd. Actually, cutting the sleeves off a grip shirt, it makes it sag. So the next grip shirt I'm getting, I'm going to keep the sleeves on and just get one really, really tight, and maybe that'll help me out. But
I thought you were going to go shirtless.
It was, well, okay. So originally 2 weeks ago when I planned this, you know, it's supposed to be 50 degrees up there. Now all of a sudden we had 80 plus degrees and it was hot. So my thinking was I was going to be pouring sweat and I wasn't going to be a whole log. But I still sweat, but I had the grip shirt on, and it kind of backfired on me. So I went against my own rule. Everything you do in training, you do in competition. And I broke that rule that day. Thank God it didn't bite me in the ass where I lost the event.
God, no, man. I don't know. When you failed to clean it, I thought you were just going to leave the show. I thought you were so mad because I was like, oh, God, he's going to quit.
I was very mad, but I was so mad from last year and so let down that I couldn't compete. Because once again, I had busted my ass just for that show, and it got to 3 weeks before the show, and I had pneumonia and got put in the hospital. And it was a real bummer. So I knew this year I was going to do whatever it took to get in there and just dominate. So, obviously the log didn't go like I wanted. It didn't bite me in the ass, but luckily the rest of the show went like I wanted. And somehow or another, I was able to win the speed events, which are usually I'm first, second, third. So I was very pleased with that.
Nice. We got a few more people that joined us. Mr. Adam Guy, what's going on? Austin said if only he had the red beer strength. And Stan, world's strongest live stream. I like the sound of that.
I do like that too. I like that.
And then we got Mr. Tyler Haynes saying Forge is looking more like an entire contest for me. Okay, so he's going to possibly get
No,
in.
no. We're gonna take it slow. He's a little bit optimistic.
Hey, that boy is optimistic if nothing. I'll say that for sure.
Yes.
Well, I know there's
other than that, I think the show went really well. It was a good show. It was a little hot, but it was a good show. I was glad.
You wouldn't think it's going to be hot in February.
Yeah, it was strangely hot. That's right. It was a great ran show. I loved seeing everybody that was there. I met some new people that were really cool. Every show has its little knickknacks that happen, but other than that, I thought it was pretty damn good. I had a great experience. All the heavyweights, me, Brandon, and Travis and Trevor, we all were, messing around, laughing, and having a good time. I could tell the women were talking and having a good time. Of course, all the middleweights with Brian Bauer and all in there were all having their own little fun. But he had a great turnout for people watching. I had a lot of people there that said they liked it. So congratulations, Mr. Limit Breaker creator.
Well, I appreciate it. Obviously, no show's perfect. We got a lot of learning opportunities here, some stuff that we're going to work on going forward.
I forgot Mr. Michael Smith too. Michael is always the quiet one back there, but you never underestimate Michael Smith. In fact, I thought he was the one that's going to kill me on the moving events, so I surprised myself.
He did really well too. I was really impressed. With him being kind of on the lighter weight, I did recommend him to Tyler at PSL for the 125 class.
Yep.
Fox said, I think those last two commentators on the stream really just made the whole show.
I went back and listened to them. They actually did pretty damn good.
It was a good balance because Josh is really knowledgeable of the sport. Noah is really interested in the sport and wants to learn. So I feel like it was a good combination. I'll take credit for putting them together. I was happy about that.
It reminded me of two old men just sitting out on the front porch drinking coffee and just talking about just normal shit they see.
Yeah.
It sounded like.
Well, let's go ahead and we got Portia ready to go. You want to go ahead and add her in?
Yeah, let's get her in.
Hey, Miss Portia.
Hey, Portia.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Doing good.
Doing pretty good.
I saw.
I knew.
Okay.
Hang on. I knew I was going to have both of y'all on, so I went to the hotel gym and I tried to do shoulders and traps. Then I just decided to just wear a baggy shirt. So,
That's okay. I'm hiding them tonight, so you're safe.
I appreciate that. I am a lot closer to the camera to make me look bigger.
Yeah, there you go. It's all
I saw that you put your trophy immediately up in your trophy case.
Yep.
Like
put that away.
Yeah,
all
they
the
look
people down at the gym, they always get so excited when I'm going. So and they're always like, "Okay, you better bring back home a trophy," or they just get so excited. So I always get excited to bring that for them more than anything because they always ask me. So
got you. It was a fun experience, and watching y'all battle, that was my favorite part, is watching the women go at it, because women seem to get into it a lot more than guys do sometimes.
yeah, I noticed that, as far as especially when it comes to hustling and stuff, sometimes
Yes.
it's just what the heck, guys, quit slacking.
Well, Miss Portia, you set the state record because before that show, we didn't know what the state record was. But you were only 10 pounds off. Did you end up with 205 or 215? I'm blanking right now.
205, but I did clean 215, and I just it kind of went out a little bit in front of me a bit, and so the press didn't get a full lockout when I did my split jerk, but it was there. I really do think I can do 215 for sure.
Well, the 205, that's only 20 pounds off the national and the I think the world record. I think it's 225.
Her split is crisp. So you could
Oh,
definitely tell
yes.
you've been working on it.
Yeah, so Travis Ortmeyer just took over all my training just after OSG, so we've really been working on a lot of technique.
Oh, you're doing a good job.
Because honestly, I told him, I was like, do you realize that like I never trained, like I just did it. Like I just taught, like it just was like, oh, let me try a split jerk. And I just did it. So I never had no one tell me how to do it. I just did it. And so I've only been doing it this whole time, how my body's just naturally done it. And so now I'm actually getting coached on it. So this like my first, this is like a baby strongman step and like learning actual technical, technicalities. So
Yep.
Well, I will say I'm very excited to invite you both back, you and Meg, because y'all's battle was intense. And I had the scoreboard up. I was going to show it, but we got a lot of people that were going to be joining us. So I want to make sure we have enough room. I don't miss anybody. But there
right.
was two events that y'all, I think the moving events, y'all were like 1 second apart or within a second of each other.
Yeah, very,
It
very
was,
close. So, but Travis also was glad then to have a competition for me because then it really like kind of pushed me to because then he's like, then you actually like went out and was like, oh, I don't have to really worry about it, so it did. It kind of like helped motivate me to be like, okay, no, go in, do all of those things that he said to do and just execute it. So, but I love speed stuff. So,
well, you did great.
Yeah, even though your
I'm
yoke
happy.
was overloaded, you did fantastic.
even the blood.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. The yoke was overloaded.
Uh,
Oh,
Um,
that actually, I didn't know it. When you told me, I was like, it was.
yeah.
the perks of being super strong. I did the math on an Excel spreadsheet, and apparently I had the formula off. So yeah, you did 540. You did the
Yeah.
weight that the open women were going to do.
I think that it's just been helping that I've been working heavy yokes since like OSG. So it really didn't register to me. And it was like because you guys did it. I like how you broke it down to where you could at least see what your yoke time was. Like, did you see mine was like 6 seconds? Like, that's
Hmm.
pretty fast.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
it is.
No, we try to take as many split times as possible because I do not like ties, and
Yeah.
we've had way too many over the last 5 or 6 shows. I think every show I've done, we've had ties in the podium
Yes.
position, and I can't stand it.
Yeah, I think that's a very smart idea. So I liked it. Plus, then it gives us kind of where we can gauge where we're at. So if I were to ever go do that again, you have a time to compare it to.
Oh yeah. I think Tyler and Meg have joined us, but their camera's blank right now, so I think they might be getting set up. But uh, I invited Tyler and Meg happen to be with them, so we're going to have a nice little podium grouping here. Oh, there they are. See if we can fit everybody on camera.
Hey.
Hey,
Oh, hey,
how are y'all?
we're doing good. We are eating. We're eating steak right now. Dinner time.
So
9 o'clock dinner time.
We
Yeah.
just finished training, so
Yeah.
I tried training. I'm not looking as buff right now, so I'm wearing a baggy shirt.
Yeah,
Um,
I have to start back tomorrow.
Yeah.
well, let's go around the horn real quick. I want to start with Portia. I want to know what was your favorite event of the show.
Do you really have to ask me that?
I mean,
Can
I
you
can
get?
assume. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
the
say
log is
log.
always
Yeah.
like a staple for me. Even when like the competition doesn't go my way with the log, so it's only happened probably only once. OSG was awful, but maybe I just don't think I was peaking right. Anyways, I still loved it. It wasn't like I just gave up on that passion for it. It was more just like, okay, buddy, you didn't work for me today, but we're gonna come back next time. And then so this is my next time since OSG. And so it was nice to get that back to just really enjoy the log again. But I love the log and I love the yoke. So, and those are like in like all the competitions.
Nice. Trey, I'm assuming that was your love-hate relationship on that event.
Well,
That's your favorite event.
I was loving the log. It let me down, so I'm going to go with yoke and the deadlift for Saturday.
What about Tyler and Meg?
You go ahead.
You just took a bite. I got you right as you took a bite. I'm sorry.
um ooh. I don't know. For myself, probably the loading, because I've never loaded a keg before.
Really?
Never pressed a keg before. So that was an interesting thing to learn like the day before we left for Alabaster.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably loading. I love sandbags. A little bit heavier next time. Yeah.
And then I like the. I was a big fan of the yoke into the deadlift actually, because that way you have a competition that is that brings in the yoke and the deadlift, and you still only have the 5 events. I'm a big fan of when promoters combine two different types of lifts into one event. That's kind of a big thing they do. I feel like in like the Scandinavian countries, if you go compete in Finland, Norway, they love to combine lots of skills into, and
Yeah.
I think because it displays more athleticism and they get a better test of like all around strength, you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
would have
I'm a
said
huge.
I hadn't rolled my ankle.
Ooh, yeah. Sorry
So,
about that.
you know, Pinkerton is a deadlift rep master, but we had to train him. I coached Pinkerton. He's come a long way, but he had to face the yoke before he got into his best event. So it was kind of
Mhm.
an extra challenge for him to get through that yoke before pulling all the reps on the pound deadlift. So
Yeah. Well, I'm a big fan of Brian Shaw, so I steal a lot of ideas from the Shaw Classic, and he's big about combining events. So that's where I try not to take exactly what he does, but take inspiration from him.
yeah,
Uh,
it is like classic strongman, you know.
oh, well, let's do the opposite. Tell me what you hated about the event. Which event you hated? Let's go back in order. Portia, tell me which event you don't want to see come back.
Honestly, though, there wasn't any that you had picked that I just didn't like. So I thought you did a really good job in choosing because it kind of went through all of the strongman stuff of testing all the different strengths and weaknesses. And so I do think I did not practice with like a fat grip. And I think that
Mhm.
that affected me a little bit because I definitely was able to hold on to the regular pin longer. But I did let Travis know that. And he was just like, oh, sure, we can, put in some more variations and some more grip strength training for that. So that was kind of a good lesson for me to learn. But I didn't dislike it. So I think you did a great job.
I appreciate that. Well, I did have a lot of people compliment those pins. Um,
Yeah, it was
if
nice.
y'all, if anybody's looking for them, they are KFAB. I think they're out of Florida. Look them up on Instagram. Go follow them if you're not already, and buy stuff from them. They're quality products. It's also one of the yokes we had. Um, Trey, what event would you not like to see return?
I liked them all, to be honest with you. I was nervous about some of the loading, just because my big ass don't like doing cardio. So I didn't really train any of the loading events until about 2 weeks prior, just because I hate them so bad. But I would say probably the grip hold is probably my least favorite, only because the plates in itself were making it really difficult in holding it because you're setting your legs and everything else. I think if it was a more central pin or some kind of cylinder that was
Hmm.
probably, I don't know, 5 or so inches less as far as diameter, I think it'd have been a little bit better. But overall, I think it was great.
Now the only problem I had with that is to get to the heavyweight for y'all, I would have had like a 10-foot pole for 25s.
Well, no. I was thinking you were going to have us on those stands you had.
Yeah, but still,
And,
the pole I don't think would fit that much weight on it. Is what I'm
oh,
saying.
I got you. Other than that, I thought it
Tyler,
was good.
man, what about y'all?
So overall, the events I thought was a well-rounded design competition. You had a log press and good overhead press. Had one of the events had a keg press in it, so you had 2 press events in one competition, which I think is pretty cool. And like every strongman competition has to have some type of grip test. I feel like to be a legit, well-rounded, who's the strongest person, you got to also factor in a grip strength. The one you chose was the T-handle hold. That one's cool. I mean, it is a good test of grip. When I was holding it towards the end there, it was slipping out hands, and I was really trying to focus. I lost grip on it there after a minute. It's one of the things about those is tricky is it's not a fun spectacle necessarily
Yeah.
for a hitter, and so you could have maybe like they've done like Hercules hold, where it looks it's more of a spectacle, I guess, event. Or if it's more head to head, you get two guys going at the same time in the same class, and you say whoever wins is going to be your overall champion. So you could try to turn it into more of a spectacle. Grip events are not as fun because they're not as exciting as like a race where you're going really fast, loading things and moving quickly.
Yeah.
I don't know if I had to pick one. I guess I would pick that one. I really did like the moving events. I like all moving events. I like head-to-head moving events because I think they're the most fun to watch, especially if it's two guys in the same class.
I'm trying to get some extra equipment so we can actually have matching duplicates of everything so we can actually do a head to head. Biggest concern with that was just having to
If I have
match
anything
up everything perfectly.
yeah, let me know next year if I can help with anything. I'll bring my equipment too. We'll have a lot of equipment.
Well, I got a few ideas. I've been talking to some people. I'm going to try to get the city and the county involved because for the people watching, we had 4 countries represented and I think 15 states out of 29 athletes. So, I mean, I think that was a pretty good pull to a small town in Alabama. Next year, I'm hoping to break that record, and hopefully the tourism board here will be deciding to chip in a little bit on that.
Yeah.
But Meg, did you have is it the same for you as everybody else, the grip event? Because Destiny in there is in the chat talking about she hated it as well, or Elena's hated it. It was one of those things we had to adjust as we went.
Yeah, grip is something that I don't necessarily have an issue with. For me personally, with one working thumb, this thumb doesn't do anything anymore. My thumbs was the thing that kind of what's the word I'm looking for? That like sliced my grip. Having to utilize it, slice my grip. But I mean, personally for me, I was feeling pretty nervous about having a max log event. But we have a world record attempt later this year in competition for log. And I've had a huge mental block since OSG. I think Portia was saying as well, like the difference in the logs at OSG really threw my confidence to the point where like my last session before limit breakers, I couldn't press the log. I couldn't press 165.
What was the logs at OSG? What was the brand?
They were nice. The Mark Bardos ones. Like I liked the log, but when warm up, like it was flying. And then I went out there on the comp floor and I was like, it's not the weight. Like the weight I could have held it for all day. It's just when I went to press it, it was like I couldn't get stable. I don't know if it was the ceilings. Travis says we need to practice pressing outside and all the things. I mean, there's just little factors that I didn't know. I mean, it's my first world stage. I think and it kind of really was devastating because it totally like just shifted my whole heart the rest of the competition. So but the Mark Bardos logs were awesome. They were 150 pounds dry. Like I didn't have a problem with it, but when I went out onto the comp floor it felt way different. It was just weird. So I don't know what Meg's experience was, but it was definitely, I'm not blaming the log, but I don't know because I liked it almost better than even like these what they call them, pit bull logs or whatever. Like I liked having all that weight right on your chest as opposed to out on the side. So I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree. The weight on your chest is much better. The difference at OSG being the warm-up log that they gave us, the hand width, whereas when we went out onto the floor, the logs that we were pressing on, the handles themselves were like mid-chest width. So it went from like if you're thinking in like powerlifting terms, it went from doing a regular bench press to post grip bench press. So it changed the way that it sat on your chest. I'm not blaming the logs at all. It showed a weakness in an element of my pressing. But across the board, the non-American athletes who haven't experienced those logs before all said, what? And everyone that wasn't from the US were the ones who struggled with that log.
I noticed log press and strongman competitions is the most inconsistent. Like, people have the most difficulty achieving what they get in training, because everyone gets used to that log training, and whenever you go to a competition, it's always going to be a different log than what you had in training, almost always.
Yeah.
Versus if you do an axle press, it's pretty much the same thing. If you do a deadlift, it's going to be on a deadlift bar, axle bar. I mean, those are going to be consistent with training. But yeah,
That's true.
if you can do the exact brand log, or sometimes you go to, like, if you go to Finland and compete overseas, they're usually custom logs. I mean, you can't get those to train.
Yeah.
You'd have to get the dimensions and weight, try to fabricate one close to it if you can.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, Trey, you were in the first year, Tyler, second year, and then all of you were this year. I put a poll up today on Instagram trying to get an idea of what events to bring back, because I've put together a few, I guess, unique combinations. One being the trial by forge, which was the keg carry, sandbag shoulder, then press this year. Last year we had the Bubba's Gauntlet, which was a sandbag gauntlet, press, shoulder to both sides, carry, and then load with 4 increasingly heavier bags. And then in the first year we had a Captain America hold, which was holding an anchor rope, like a battle rope, a thick one, while the other one was attached to a sled or a Smith machine that progressively got heavier and heavier. So it was like pulling you apart. Which of those 3 would y'all be interested in next year?
The most
Let's go in order so I don't cut everybody off. But let's go Portia first again, because she's
Honestly,
first on my screen.
any of them, so I'm cool with whatever. I think they all sound like fun.
All right, Trey.
I'm going to be a little biased. I'd like a max log again. Of course, I could. Maybe I come back, but no, I think the yoke and the deadlift was my favorite of the show.
Okay.
You could tell who trained for those and who didn't, because usually you have somebody that's good at yoke, or they're opposite, good at deadlift and not yoke. So it kind of brought out the weaknesses into some people, and if they didn't train their CNS or the cardio needed to do that, it broke them down really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know if I was in the show, I would have smoked the yoke and then zero the deadlift.
Yeah, I really like the yoke and deadlift. That's a good combination of skills for one event. You don't have to, I don't like yoke into log press because I like to press in my lifting shoes, and I don't want to run a yoke in my lifting shoes. But the my regular flatter shoes.
Yeah, I had to think about that. I had to. I didn't want to drop the time from taking off shoes like everybody else.
Yeah.
So I went ahead and wore the Converses the entire time, which usually I wear lifters when I do yoke. So it threw me off a little bit, but it worked out.
This is so I was watching people running yoke in barefoot shoes, and I myself used to spend my whole life in barefoot shoes. But I was running a 300 kilo yoke the week before Chaos, and I ruptured the plantar plate in my foot.
Oof.
So now I have to wear heavy orthotic to support my foot and keep it the shape it's supposed to be, essentially. So I was the same as you, Travis. I was like, I'm gonna kick my shoes off, and then I saw how long people were taking to kick their shoes off, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just go for it. See what happens. I'm in squishy shoes. It's gonna feel horrid.
And you actually needed that extra time. Went all the way to the time.
Yeah.
In, so one thing that was missing, I do like to have some type of throw. I do.
Yes, I missed the bag throw.
Yeah.
No.
So if you
I hated the bag throw for 2 reasons. One, building that down target took forever, and I couldn't stand it up by myself. It took me and 4 other guys. And then 2, dang near destroyed half the equipment behind it because we were doing it inside, and I had to buy whole new walls for my wife's dance class.
As long as we have a throwing event and we don't have Max there, then we'll be all right.
Oh yeah, that takes forever. Now we could do. I've never seen a throwing event that mixes other skills in a throwing event. Actually, usually it's all like a series of throws or a max throw. Cool to see
That'd be
like
cool.
throw into something else. That'd be
Yeah, yoke into like 5 bag toss for
Yeah.
time or something.
No.
Good God Almighty, that'd be horrible.
I did just get a 50-pound slam ball, and we had a couple of guys trying to throw it as far as they could, distance wise, backwards. Maybe we'll have a throw for distance instead of height.
That'd be cool.
I'd like a throw for distance.
And then I think I kind of prefer like farmers carries and like mixing that also like multiple events into one, like doing something else.
Mm-hmm.
I did in Finland. One of my favorite events was we did a yoke, and it was like it was like the chick yoke. It was like people were in the yoke. They had these.
Oh yeah.
So you had to carry these people, and then you carried them, and then set them down, and then you had to go into a frame carry the frame, set it down, and then the last one was to load a heavy sandbag into a tractor bucket.
Tyler, we need the forged car deadlift or the yoke back.
The four,
The
The
car carry.
car we carried?
I think that was the worst yoke I've ever done in my life. It was 900.
Yeah,
That thing
that's
was
the first one I've
crushed.
never finished.
I felt like I was going to just fall through the floor. That some of it was you could not get it centered, and it was crushing you the entire time.
Yeah. Let's dig into the comments for a second because we are live. We got people chiming in. Let's see. Destiny was upset about the deadlift, and I do apologize. We had a couple of mishaps with the loading. We obviously overloaded the lightweight women for the yoke, and we transitioned into the open women so quick we didn't change the weight for the deadlift before the first person went. So to make it fair, we just left the weight for everybody, and it turned into more of a endurance event for some of those deadlifts.
We definitely saw the endurance getting pushed or that. Yeah.
I think
Definitely.
that's part of strongman, though. We're not in a sport that is black and white, that it has these like structured lines. If things happen, that's like the experience of competing in punches. And that's not a slight at anyone, but it's something that we've all had to do in competition. Like I've had an event and we were pressing a tractor engine, and yeah, it was a heritage game.
Okay.
Guys, I live in New Zealand. Come on.
Yeah.
We were pressing this tractor engine, and every time someone dropped it, something fell off.
Mm-hmm.
So necessarily the same weight for, but it was still the same awkward object. So it was just kind of like, okay.
Yeah. I was doing my very first show was Alabama Strongest, and it started raining right as it was my turn to do the sandbag over bar for reps. And every time it hit the ground, all the water underneath would disappear. You had to know where it went. So that bag got really heavy really quick.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. We had somebody said something about a keg throw. Oh, Tyler Haynes said a keg throw. I don't know if I can do that inside safely, because I'm trying to keep this show inside because you can't tell what's going to happen in February. We had the first year, it was
Let's be honest,
rain,
it felt like August in there.
Well, it would have been great to do it outside this year, but 2 years ago we were all getting stuck in the mud because it was raining and it was 20 degrees outside.
I would have gladly handed you my winnings to cut the AC on. I promise.
With that many people in there, it wouldn't have done anything. I promise you. I apologize for the. Well, I'm going to go ahead and put y'all all on the spot because as podium finishers, you're automatically invited to next year. Is there any confirmed yeses?
We'll be there.
Yeah, we plan on being there.
All right,
Yeah, you done a great job, and I'm really proud of you and like the way you've represented the state of Alabama I feel a lot of states are envious of the promoters we have. You and Trey, we got a good thing going on for the sport in our state. So yeah, thank you, man.
I appreciate it. Appreciate that. Kind words. Means a lot coming from y'all. Portia, you were saying something?
Oh, I was just saying I want to come back, so I can't wait to see what my schedule looks like, but I plan on it.
Oh, awesome. And then finally, Mr. Trey.
Well, this is supposed to be my last year. And then I want to transition back to going for my bench press. I won't, but if there's a max log in there, I might. But as of right now, I'm going to be judging instead of competing.
I can tell you right now, without a shadow of a doubt, there's no max anything in next year's coming.
Then Trey's probably out.
Trey's all out.
I do have a list of about 6 events that I'm looking through. I start prepping the limit breaker for 2026 the night I got home so Saturday night after everybody went to bed. I'm laying there like, what events are we going to do next year? Where's the venue going to be? My wife was cussing me out because she's like, Chuck, we just got done with one. Don't start talking about the next one. But I do have several ideas, and if I can get the funds together, it's going to be a huge step up.
Oh, nice.
Here's the tourist board or whomever else can be of assistance will actually step up and see what it is that you're bringing. I mean, I watched the live stream last year, and the only thing that I could akin it to is when we go to PSL, and you run the competitions much like Tyler runs PSL, and it's very professional, very athlete focused.
Yeah.
There's no ego involved. It's all about everyone being there, having the best time. And I definitely felt that with the camaraderie that we had in the place as well.
Yeah.
Overall, it was an awesome day.
Thank you.
I had one small caveat to that. If you can get some world class, Trevor was good, Brandon was good, everybody was good. But if we get some more world class guys that actually stick it out and stay in the entire time, then I might come back for that too.
Yeah, that's the only division that I haven't got a world class athlete. I mean,
I want Wesley Claiborne in there. I want to go up against him. I know there's no way in hell I can beat him in a lot of events, but just being there and experiencing him and going against him, it would be awesome.
I've been trying to since the first year. I know the first year nobody knew who I was because I came out of nowhere and decided to do an invitation only show. But after 3, I'm hoping now I can start getting a little bit of connections with some of the biggest problem is I don't pay enough money for some of those big guys.
If they're looking for a payout, then they're not in the sport reasons, let's be honest.
That's true.
Well, I'm also looking at timing too because we got the Arnold a month away, and I know some of y'all are doing the Arnold. Portia, are you doing the Arnold?
I am. I'm going. Yep.
So, hey, those who turned me down for the Arnold, Portia did it. She competed and won, and she's going to go do the Arnold. So
I am too. I'm going.
Trey did it. Yeah, don't use that as an excuse. I did kick around the idea of moving it.
The events went well with Arnold stuff, so it wasn't like, Travis kind of had it working to where I was able to train everything. I don't feel like I lacked on training, so.
I was so happy to see that too because when they announced their events, they were only like a month or 2 ago, I think. I announced the events almost a year ago. So I was like, I was so grateful they lined up to keep y'all, specifically the people who were saying the Arnold was the reason why. Linus is doing it Arnold too, according to Olivia. So, but I did toss around the idea of moving it to October, but then I think OSG would just be a bigger issue.
Yeah.
No.
Why am I not doing the Arnold? That's Tyler just asked that. They I don't know. The Arnold, does it pay out money now for the weight class athletes?
Yeah, they got a $30,000 prize pool now. They're going to pay out.
Okay, so traditionally, Tyler Haynes made me a really cool crown, by the way. He's a blacksmith, so world's strongest. So usually Tyler, avoiding the Arnold, they call it amateur, and they didn't offer any prize money. This year, though, yeah, I think they may be offering prize money for weight class. I have to see.
Yeah, it shows a $30,000 prize pool because now they're going to consider it as a pro-am.
Okay. So I would. So yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to fit it in this year, but I may do it next year. Yes, it's another sign, I guess, promoters evolving a little bit to help the athletes, which is really nice. Yeah, that's. I did get an invite. I think I got an email invite. I just wasn't planning on going because of that.
You've had a pretty crazy last months as well. It's
Yeah,
been pretty nonsense. So.
I've been trying to do when I set out my competition year. I usually I try to pick at least the hardest world championships where the best guys show up. Traditionally, the Arnold, it hasn't really had the best guys for my weight class. I know the heavyweights, yeah, they get the best guys. But for my weight class, a lot of the best guys didn't go to that because I think of the payout. They didn't pay. So guys would like Pro Strongman League and OSG that actually had a little payout. Now that they're paying out, they may get better people.
Well, there was another comment somebody made about the Arnold. Stan said that they're adding several classes for the Masters too. So it's growing. It's going to be fun. I'm trying to make my way up there. I have backed out of a group, but then I got invited by somebody else to come help out with a different portion. They offered to possibly pay my way, so I might see y'all if I get up that way. So I'll be looking for you. But I'm banking on Trey and Portia to go represent the Limit Breaker very well.
Yeah,
Yep.
I mean, if I can top 10 my first year, I'll be really happy.
Mm-hmm.
First place for both of you. Come on.
That's not going to. I'll be realistic. That's impossible.
I'm still not even 3 years into the sport, bud.
But you've won a pro show, right?
I won this and I won Pro Women's Worlds, but that was after taking second at Nationals of 2023. So yeah, this
So
is
you're
really
just
now where I'm starting to get better though.
We got Michael Smith is going to be there too. I forgot about that.
there's a lot of people going to be up there. I'm really hoping we can make it up there so I can show support for all the athletes. Well, is there anything else that y'all want to give me feedback wise? Because if I don't learn from mistakes, I don't grow and I can't get better. So tell me your true feelings.
there was the mead sponsor. We need him back. Pour more wine. I'm thinking
He would not stop about the fact that the sponsor was not there.
Yeah, we talked to him after the show a little bit.
No, man, you did a great job. I don't know. There's no glaring things that you can improve on. Just I just that it becomes, I guess, more renowned, better known. That the athletes brag about it, and you got, I guess, more athletes. You know, they're growing, help you grow, and more sponsors will be interested. You know, just, let me know.
I appreciate it.
Organic growth, I guess, is where you're at now.
Definitely. That's what I'm working on right now. The show did great. We ended up with 1,200 views on the channel. Not the biggest live stream, but it had, I think it averaged 90 something viewers at all times. So pretty good. I credit that to all the people who were watching y'all for one compete, but I had a nice group of people on the live stream. We had Panda and Chelsea for the first half. I jumped on for a few minutes. The viewership tanked. I jumped off and gave it back to Josh and Noah, and it popped back up. So Noah Galloway, he was texting me earlier today asking about the stream. He was hoping everybody liked him and Josh talking back and forth. I think they were a good mix. And let's see. Destiny said a nutrition sponsor would be great. Yes, I need to work on that. I've been trying to get
I can get
somebody.
Frontline, man.
Okay. Get somebody there.
I need to talk a lot of smack to like Derek Owens and make sure he shows up. Or John Hack. John Hack's got a huge. I need folks like that to help you grow the viewership for the.
All right, that's a good question. So you said you want to call out Derek Owens and John Hack.
Yeah.
So all right, Portia, do you have somebody you want to call out and say you want to compete against? Not necessarily in an aggressive way like Tyler, but somebody that you would like to see come and compete.
I don't have anybody. I just anybody that wants to come up and show up and put in the work. Let's go.
Trey,
I want to compete against BT.
I knew that was coming. All right, Meg.
I've already said, and Stan will back this up, that I'm going to try and drag Kitty Foster from Australia.
Okay.
But I mean,
She's pretty quick. You got to
yeah,
it'd be a race on the events.
Panda's going to be back next year. Panda's back into shows this year after injury, and then pulling Grace Ingebrigtsen from Colorado. Basically, I'm just surrounding myself with my friends because I will happily shit talk them, but I'll raise everybody else up.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Oh, I do take that back. I want Donovan Cecil there because he's great. I didn't get to beat him again, and I want Bobby Thompson. Those are the two.
Isn't Bobby Thompson on the way out?
I don't care. I want him.
So is Trey. Trey's on his way out apparently too.
Yeah, I'm on the way out. We'll have a way out show.
There you go. That's what Gabby did. Apparently, this was her last show.
Well, if there's an Atlas Stone in your show that's over 360 pounds, I know I'll win because he can't even pick one up. So we're good to go.
Oh, we're getting into the smack talk for real.
Hey, we could do something next year. That'd be nice.
But it's so messy, so goddamn messy.
We'll have to go. No tacky.
That might be more up my way because the first year I did a show, we had stones, and it took me a month to get that tacky off the rubber mats.
Oh no!
Oh, not even rubber mats. We held a novice show at my gym in New Zealand, and I was finding tacky on the walls. I was finding tacky like on the door handles, like knowing what to do with it, and we're just touching everything. It was like a toddler had been there.
I also had to borrow all my stones from Todd Williams, and I feel really bad because I didn't know how to remove tacky or anything, and he ended up having to take them home by himself and clean it all up by himself, and I felt horrible. And yeah, thumbs down. I don't know where that came from, but that's exactly right.
I have a brand new set that's probably only touched tacky like once.
Of stones?
It just sits around, and I don't ever touch them. Yeah.
Where do you have stones at?
They're at my gym.
Are they yours?
Yes, they're mine.
I know we had an issue with getting some equipment from that gym, so I don't want to assume.
They're mine.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll do some non-tacky related stone events.
Okay.
Shoulder to shoulder.
Did all y'all see the video of Thor shattering a stone doing that?
Silly boy.
Happened over the weekend. He shouldered it, and it rolled right off the back and just busted into a million pieces.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, we are almost at 50 minutes of the show. I appreciate all y'all hopping on and talking about the show. Give it a couple minutes to the chat, see if they have any questions or any comments for any of our winners here. Let's see. We'll give it a couple
Tyler, how did
minutes.
you like our dominating performance? We pretty much matched each other the entire day.
Yeah, that's what. So Trey and I've competed, and when I've done heavyweight with him before. I didn't do heavyweight this time. So, our competition was to see who could win more events in our weight classes. So I think we both won 4, and then we both finished about mid-pack on the hold. So
That's right. Yeah.
Let's see. Have people either use tacky towels or Will Development's tacky because it's easy to remove. So have y'all ever used Will Development's tacky? Any of you?
Yeah, I did. I used it. It works really well. I like it.
Pretty easy to get off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Very.
That was great.
I'll have to see if I can get him to sponsor. I got to meet him last year.
He's the man.
Yeah. Santana said, had an absolute best time watching and cheering everyone on. What'd you think about each division? Or so Destiny's asking what I thought about each division, each event, anything you changed, do differently. There's always a ton of hindsight. Um, as far as the divisions, I think the divisions are the main four that I'm going to keep at least for the next year. It's hard to add divisions without a lot of funding. Those trophies are not cheap. As far as events go, I think the format that we've got where we do, a press, a couple of combination events, and then I personally like grip events just because I like grip. Uh, so I don't think as far as events I would change. I will say I always try to improve things because we make mistakes loading weights. There's always human error and that kind of stuff and judging. Just and continually trying to prep. Like this year, I created spreadsheets for everything. I didn't. Unfortunately, I made a error in a formula. So that would be the biggest thing I would say is doing those spreadsheets and having a second set of eyes run through them instead of just handing them out.
Yeah.
Let's see who else. Really, Adam said he'd rather compete than be a loader. Well, he needs to win one of these mini shows he has signed up for this year.
It was fun watching the middleweight or the lightweight guys too. That was a pretty good show. Although I didn't hear Pinkerton yell all day at all, so I don't know if he was
I
having
heard
a
it
great
once.
day.
I heard it once.
Oh,
He did after one event. I remember which event it was because I
It
yelled
was the
at Adam.
grip.
It wasn't the deadlift.
It was the
Maybe it was-
grip.
It might have been the loading event.
It wasn't loud enough for everyone to hear, though.
yeah, he seems a lot quieter Saturday than I've ever heard him before.
Somebody just called him Wolverine in the comments. Stan.
Yeah, that's exactly what it looked like.
Yeah, he had it shaved right there. Well, I appreciate all y'all hopping on. Don't want to keep y'all too late. This is a lot later show than we normally do, and hopefully we'll have each of you back on at some point. Maybe we'll see you again in the next show. And
Or answer that one question that Matt just had.
squad event. So there was almost a Steinborn squat in the show. There was a lot of negative feedback when I asked the athletes about it, and so I dropped it out. But there is a squat event that I would like to see. I'm not going to say what specifically, but it would be a lot more mechanical instead of just a barbell, much like a Viking press setup.
Gotta say,
So-
a car top notch.
Yeah, I did see this car squat last year, and that did kind of pique my interest. Again, it's
Squat rather than a regular squat, and it's fun.
so I would definitely consider it, and I am very much interested in doing it, especially since I used to do a lot. I used to love squats. I don't anymore, but let's see. I
Why don't they do for the pressing event the behind the neck style that World's Strongest Man's doing?
There's quite a few.
Or is it the Arnold? No, Arnold's doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, the Arnold's doing it.
Yeah.
The weights in Australia are doing it as well, and some of the guys are already putting up like one of the boys put up like 162 the other day. For like
Yeah, Lucas and Evan have both hit 550 pounds now.
Yeah. There's a lot of human error in that stuff, though. That's my concern.
Yeah.
I could just see it coming down somebody's head. I'm safety man at heart. That's my day job. So I have to, everything I do, I'm like, how can somebody get hurt on this? And, we got out of the show with just a minimal. So do what?
That's probably why you killed that Steinborn squat, huh?
No, that was more just crowd
Man,
crowd
I
hate.
wanted that event too.
You were like one of two.
I never tried that, so I would have to, it would have been a little learning curve, I guess. But
Let's see. Well, so what's the possibility of it being a qualifier for the Arnold show? So somebody's asking about, or Santana said, Tyler wants to know what the possibility of it being a qualifier for the Arnold or Shaw Classic. I know it'll never be a qualifier for the Shaw Classic. I've had the conversation with Brian Shaw. He responded to my email personally and said, due to too many people requesting that. He can't pick or choose one or the other. So he's going to stick with like the major shows. That's it. So I think if you win Worlds, if you win Arnold, stuff like that, you get an invite. But for the
I think
Arnold, I don't.
I think he's talking about just getting invited to the lower, like the Arnold, the pro am.
I know. I asked Shaw about it being a part of his amateur, and he's like,
Okay, like
no.
a qualifier. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I wanted it to be a qualifier, but he just did an online qualifier, so anybody can enter into like.
Yeah.
And then for the Arnold, it's because that's Strong Corp technically, and we're unsanctioned, so I don't think it'll ever be into that. I am requesting, and I've requested for this will be the third year now that the Open be a qualifier for OSG, and the class weight classes be for PSL. PSL we are connected, and I did talk to Tyler and Lynn before hand. It was like, hey, I would like to build this to where it has a pathway for every weight class to go somewhere. Man, all these cute little pups in here are distracting. So the OSG has not been confirmed or denied. It was one of those, let's see where we're going. Let's see how we're growing. And, if we continue to show positive feedback and positive growth, maybe in the future it can be an OSG qualifier. So I'm not saying it's never going to happen, but it's not, at least for the next year. Hopefully after maybe 26, we'll have enough of a reputation. We can be a qualifier to PSL and or OSG.
Now it is this PSL qualifier, wasn't it?
Yes. So Tyler messaged me after the show was over, said, Portia, Meg, you're automatically invited. He said tell both of them. He wants both of y'all there. And then he said, Tyler's already invited, so who came in second? And I messaged him. And unfortunately, second place is going to be out of town, which was, we lost Portia. I'm blanking. Harry Walker went to second. Unfortunately, he's going to be out of the country, I think, on assignment. So I'm going to talk to him and see. Do what?
Yeah, Caleb Vaughn was third, so that'd be.
Yeah, Caleb Vaughn was third. There she is.
I don't know what happened.
Sometimes it kicks people out. I was just making sure you didn't say, I'm tired. I got to go to bed.
No, I was like, you guys froze.
Yeah. But no, since Harry's going to be out of the country, I'm going to see if he wants to invite Caleb Vaughn, who came in third, and I think that'd be fair.
Very deserving. He's won Mississippi Strongest, and he's done very good. He has a good resume. And
is this where I see my first invite to the world stage was being third alternate to a PSL show?
It'd been nice if Tyler would have created up the open class, so one of us could get invited to that. But I understand everybody discriminates versus the heavy guys.
Yeah, you
I try.
Compete with us.
I was just about to say, I tried to get you to cut weight.
I don't have enough. I don't have enough on me to cut. What do I have to cut?
You ain't got a little bit.
I could probably cut. I can't get a 231.
No, 125. It's 275, right?
Yeah.
I don't know my conversions.
I could definitely do that.
There's one, and now there's
120.
120 kilogram class, which is what, like a 265, something like that. Yeah.
I got a couple.
Yeah, 265. So you can cut 265.
Yeah, you learn how to do the water cuts like we do.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, I'm getting some hates in the comment section because I didn't mention the heavyweight women. I meant for all of us heavyweights. I was trying to get us all noticed.
That's why I did offer weights for anybody who came in, because if you came in as a female under 82, I was going to throw your name into the 82 option. If you came for the men, we had two guys weighing 270. So Michael Smith being one of them, I think he was 274, which was right there within that 120 class.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping, I can advocate for him enough to get an invite to the PSL for that class. And I did the same for the ladies. I made sure if you were under 70, 73, if you weighed in under 64, I was trying to advocate for you to be a 64 athlete.
Charles, just real quick on the traps. I got beat by two other people there with traps. That would be Miss Portia and Miss Gabby. So I'm no longer trap king. So
It was hilarious. My wife walked up and immediately after I had picked on him about not having the biggest traps there, my wife walked up and said, "Trey, I think you got beat by two women."
I did. I don't have them.
He's like, I'm man enough to admit it.
They got me.
Oh, well, I think that's going to be a good place to end this. We're over an hour now at this point. Thank you all again for putting on an amazing show. Y'all competed hard. Y'all put it all out there for me. Hopefully, the prizes that y'all got were worth the heartache and the pain that y'all went through.
Oh yeah.
And I hope to have you all back soon. And if anybody in the comment section has questions, go ahead and comment afterwards, and we'll try to respond back to you later.
I mean, I've done shows now, and I'll say your prize packages are the best I've ever gotten. Like all the pro shows of thing, like you've put in more work getting sponsors together and getting as much as you can for the athletes. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate y'all. Well, y'all have a great night, and to everybody watching, hope y'all have a good night too.
Yeah.
Thank
Bye,
you.
America.